Chef Jessica Tiffany, everybody.
Woo!
Give it up. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You drove all the way from Montebello
I did.
to Rancho Cucamonga.
Yes, I braved the horrendous construction on the 60 freeway just for you.
Do you
just
know,
to be here tonight.
Do you know anybody else who lives here?
I do not.
She does now.
I do not. Me and Michelle, we're gonna have wine nights. We're gonna.
Well, she does now.
Yeah, see, now you know two people.
Exactly.
Everybody knows Rancho Cucamonga. If you don't know Rancho Cucamonga, you know it from the movie Next Friday, I think.
Friday after next.
Yeah, Friday after next, right? I was able to kind of get to know you in between, but you went from one significant job to another significant place. So before we get into where you're at now, how did you even break into this business? How did you become a chef?
Oh Lord. Let me
She's
take
like,
let me take a sip real quick
Take a
before I
sip.
start
We'll
the
all do it
story.
with you.
Gather around the
Oh,
fire, children.
Should have got some marshmallows.
I always knew that I wanted to do something creative. I was definitely always like artsy. I like to draw a lot. I like to paint. I like to make things. For a minute, I thought I was going to be a beautician and do nails. Like, my godmother can attest to this. I used to have her come by my window, my bedroom window, and pretend like I was doing a drive-through service to do nails. So I'd paint her nails like real quick.
That's cute.
You know, like I wanted kits like that. I wanted to do, and I started doing it in high school too for my friends, just for fun. I thought I was quite good at it. You know, like I thought I had a pretty steady hand and such and such. But you know, like a typical young lady growing up in a Latina family, they want you to go to college, get your degree, et cetera, et cetera. You know, the whole nine, right? Be better than what we are, the whole thing. But, you know, like I just couldn't do it. Like I went to Pasadena City College. You know, I thought I would try to figure things out there.
I went to PCC too.
Yeah. No, it was really, but it started getting really busy. First of all, I didn't want to go to ELAC because it was super impacted. Too many people and way too close to home. I was
Wait, you didn't want to go where?
ELAC.
What's
East
ELAC?
LA College.
Oh, okay.
How does she know and you don't know this?
LA. Come on,
Hey,
Girl, oh, sip to this, please.
ELAC it a lot.
Wow.
All Dodger fans know where ELAC is at.
Yeah, apparently.
They do. Yeah. But anyway, so it didn't pan out. I was like, I feel like I was just wasting my time there, you know, like because it didn't give me any fire. It didn't speak to me, you know, like, and I went to private school all of my life. So in private school, they talk about vocation, right? That's just something that's your calling. It's something it's just meant for you. And this is probably one of the only times I really use the word like vocation, but this is it. You know, I was like, I saw a commercial for the Cordon Bleu on TV and I'm in my kitchen and I'm baking stuff. And I had already tried my hand at baking in high school and I would bake stuff and I would sell it on the low, you know, to make a little pocket change for myself until I got shut down, you know, because our snack people were upset that all of us girls were selling baked goods and that was taking away business from them.
Oh.
So the school was like, hey, you guys got to stop doing that. You can make it for free, but you can't be selling it on campus because our snack people who we pay to provide lunches for you are getting upset. And I get it, but I was like, man, why you gotta hate on my hustle?
I know.
I was over here making good monies off my little cookies and cupcakes and whatnot. So I was like, okay, put it on the back burner.
You see the commercial of Le Cordon Bleu, and then you call them up, and then you go and you take the tour of the place.
I do the tour. I take the test, placement test, and everything.
What is that? Like a?
It's kind of like just a basic GED to make sure that you're a functioning human being. I think.
Do you have the capacity to learn?
Yeah, you have the capacity to learn. You know basic numbers because you do also have to do food cost, right? So you need to know your math, addition, multiplication, division, et cetera, right? So, and English, you need to be able to read, articulate yourself, you know.
What did you see on that tour? What did they show you?
It was a candy sculpture. So in the office, they had it was stained, blown sugar that looks like glass.
No kidding.
And it looked like a coral reef, and I thought it was beautiful.
Wow.
And I kept looking back at it, and the child in me was like, I want to touch it.
Yeah.
But I was like, don't touch it because it's going to break if you touch it, I bet. So, but I was blown away by it, you know, like not to have a food pun in there, but I was blown away by the blown glass.
Because I think about Le Cordon Bleu.
It was so pretty.
And I saw the one in Hollywood right next to the ArcLight Cinemas.
Right.
Yes.
And
yes.
it looks very, very professional and very cordial and very almost corporate-like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way Jessica's describing it is like almost like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, right? Where they got candy sculptures, and it's like they're really trying to sell you on this.
No, 100%. They totally were. And I was sold. Went back home, all excited. I found my dream, mom and dad. And they're like, no, stay in college. And I was like,
But it is a college. It's just
but
a different kind.
And I was so like, but I understood it. I understood exactly why they said no. I get it. 1 year goes by. I'm still hating my life over there at PCC. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just over here in retail, like working. It's like, I felt kind of aimless. Like I didn't really have purpose, and whatnot. And I was like, I'm going to go back. I was like, you know what? I'm 18 now. I'm just going to do it for my own self. And I just went and I just threw myself in debt. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, because I'm
so you paid for it yourself?
Yeah. Well, not 100%. Actually, my boyfriend at the time co-signed for me.
Helped you out. Okay,
He
cool.
helped me out. And he was a really great person, for doing that for me because I hadn't established any credit or anything like that.
It's always great to have somebody supporting you.
Yeah.
Especially when the family's like, we don't really want you to do this.
And then you were so young, like to have somebody support you. That's cool.
Yeah, like I had no credit. I had nothing. I was barely even starting to work or anything like that. So I had nothing to go off of, just, Yeah. And then I'm not going to ask. I was like, for me, I felt that college was on me. Like my parents did what they could for me. They put me through private school for my youth and then for high school, and then they still have to take care of my brother and my sister. And I was like, no, this part is on me. Like I really want this. Like I have to make it happen. I'm not gonna. And I was very grateful for him for offering to do that so I could get that loan. And he knows how grateful I am to it. And I promised that I would make sure it's on time so it doesn't ruin his credit or anything like that. But he's that
was a test in itself to see. Make sure you're on time here, and then this is the beginning of it.
100%. But that gave me the extra push because this person believed in me enough, so I gotta make it happen. Like I can't fail. I can't stop. I can't give up on this. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it 100%. Like there's no going back now because, I just can't. And then it just kind of like from there, and it just went off.
So you have your foot in the door now at Cordon Bleu, and you have the finances all situated for now. And you start at the school. Was it everything you expected it to be?
Yeah.
It was.
It was. Like I could think on it, and I was so excited because I went from crying my eyes out to I can't get my uniform, and then this person co-signing for me, and then I finally get to go to the classes now because they said everything checks out, your money's good. Okay, cool. Go get my uniform. The day I got my uniform, and we have to tie the the neckerchief on and everything like that. Like and walking into class, I was so excited. I just felt like that was where I was meant to be. And I took the best damn notes of my life there. I was the best student I could possibly be there. Like, I'm not an early person. I'm terrible waking up in the morning. But getting up, I would get up early for this. I would make it to school for that.
That's me too.
Yeah, if you have a passion for it, definitely.
Oh yeah, you make it happen. Was there ever a meal that inspired you growing up, either from your mom or from your grandmother, or just from a chef? You went to a restaurant and you're like, whoa, I had no idea food could taste this good.
I can't say from my grandma. I was a little too... She was much older, later part in her life, by the time I really got to appreciate her food. But I'd say from restaurants, I think one of the times was actually at a friend's house. His mom was Guatemalan, and she made this really good dish. And it was beans. It was black beans. And it was cauliflower that was, I believe, fried off in like an egg batter. And then she gave me like a red tomato sauce to go with it. And it was my most favorite thing ever. Like I'd go over and I always ask for it. And I fell in love with that dish. And I was like, oh, this is so good. And it was like just home cooked, just super simple. And it just tasted delicious, And that for me, like, I just made me get like excited for food. And of course, like when I go to other restaurants and I try like the big meals, like the steaks and such, I know that they're amazing. But it's always those home cooked meals that give me that bring me the most joy and happiness. And I think it's because like I kind of missed out on it with my grandmother, because she got Alzheimer's by the time, like I said, I could really start to appreciate food. So, she wasn't able to handle things in the kitchen anymore. So now, like, I think home food, that home comfort stuff, really entices me a lot more. It just gets me more excited to eat it, more so than in a restaurant.
It's like Ratatouille, It's like that scene where the critic is eating the Ratatouille, and he's like, this peasant dish? And he takes a bite of it, and it's whoosh. It's like it goes back in time where he's a child, and he
and it
hurt
takes
his
him
knee.
back
He's
in
like,
time.
Yeah, I was like, Mommy, really? Yeah, it's always the dish from I was talking to Michelle Zuna about this, and I was driving through Burbank today, and there's one restaurant that really replicated my favorite chocolate chip cookie of all time, right? And I don't know what was in this chocolate chip cookie when I was a kid, but I think it had like a hint of molasses in it.
Oh, maybe.
But it was a chocolate, but it had like not a burnt taste, but a gritty, a brownie, I don't know what it was. But whoever this baker was at Olive and Time in Burbank, she nailed it. And I always bought it there, right? Granted, it was like a $4.50 cookie, so I was like, it wasn't all the time.
Worth it.
But
So worth it.
It's right. But I went today, and they switched bakers. I'm like,
Freddy's heart was broken.
How could they do that? There was excellence, and this place was known for their pastries. The most amazing thing ever.
Did you ask what happened to her? Like, did she just like switch jobs, or she at a different location?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just so many things are changing. I don't know if it was the pandemic or if she left or I don't know what. I didn't want to get involved.
Remember, do you know her name?
No.
She's the perfect cookie.
The perfect
The
cookie.
perfect snack? Yes.
Yes.
Hey.
On that note of restaurant, though, but I can say that one of the first like restaurant meals that I really, really enjoyed was actually Little Red Door in LA.
I heard of that place. I've never been.
Really good. Really, really, really good. That was probably my first really good meal that I left home so amazed.
How did you go from being a student at Le Cordon Bleu to working at the infamous Disneyland's Club 33?
I will say this, that I'm very thankful for my mom, because she is quite the networker, and it's something that I've like learned from her really well since growing up. And I learned not to like sin vergüenza, like to not be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to go and ask for things, or to put yourself in a position, when you can do it. So she actually was like, when I needed to get my externship, like from Le Cordon Bleu, she actually had walked across the street from work because she works for the state. She worked across to the hotel and asked the chef there if I could come by, and she mentioned the externship, and she actually like assisted me with that and kind of just like.
That's cool.
Because I don't think I had the courage yet to quite do that. I was still very nervous, and then so she just kind of like, here you go, now it's on you. So I had to sit and chat with him, and then I had to earn it myself from having conversation. And then from there, I was okay, this is the last time my mom does anything for me. It's on me. And then I was just, boof, and that's where I was. And I started working for USC, for their gastropub, and then for like their private members only place. And I really, really enjoyed it. I got to meet all of great people from USC, the professors, some of the folks who have like foundations there and everything like that, like the who's who and whatnot. And great people. And also go Trojans, because I'm a USC fan.
Go Trojans. Yes.
Of course, I was so happy to be there because I got to watch the football games. I was so happy. And so then I kind of realized that I really like the whole private club scene.
Right.
More so than I liked the fast-paced, like, to order vibe. I liked the course out. I liked the pomp and circumstance of having, like, a party or a catering event, you know, and the whole setup and everything of it. And I was like, okay, I think I kind of like this. Because that's what you do in the beginning. You think you might like one type of style of the industry, and then you realize you don't like it. You like something else instead. So that's what I kind of did too. I was like, I don't quite like the hotel business. I was like, and I don't quite like the to order fast-paced gastropubby stuff. I was like, I like it, but then I don't like it. And then I tried the private, and I was like, you know what? I think I kind of like this.
Yeah.
I like this part. I like engaging the guests and
Right.
a little bit smaller, making more intricate plates, using a different kind of ingredient. So then from there, I started working with a friend out in Whittier, California. Shout out to David Forte and Masa Taco. So he's one of like my really good friends. He's like my mentor. I met him at USC. So he broke off from there and decided to go do his thing there in Whittier, and kind of took me under his wing, and I was his sous chef there at Masa Taco. So he started off with like a taco truck. So I was there helping him out with taco trucks. And then after he got to brick and mortar, so we started doing the brick and mortar stuff there. And it was really, really fun to go ahead and like play around with vegan food, to make my brain work in a different way, find these ideas and try out different things. Like he was like, if you have an idea, just go for it. And I really appreciated that, because he just let like my creativity have a space to be itself and to work. And if it didn't work, it didn't work. Or we try to find a solution and make something better, So like I really enjoyed that part. And then from there, my dad had a heart attack.
Oh.
And yeah, it was really scary. And he had to get like a quadruple bypass surgery. So like I said, I have 2 younger siblings, and my little sister was still like in like grade school. So, I was like, well, I'm glad that my dad's fine. But I was like, if anything were to happen to him, like being the older sibling, the oldest, I'd have to help my mom. I was like, so I should probably get a job that has benefits and 401k and et cetera, et cetera. So that's when one of my best friends, like Amber, told me that Disney was hiring. And she's like, you should apply. And I was like, okay. So then I applied. But the thing is, nobody on the websites, nothing says Club 33 or anything. It's just very ambiguous. It's just you apply to it, you apply to it. And if you apply to one, you can't apply to another one for another 6 months.
Wow.
So I was like, what the F? I was like, if I don't pick the right one, I'm going to pick the wrong one. And then I have to wait 6 months before I can try again.
Right.
So I literally sat there on the computer reading every word, every detail to figure out what was going to be the best one. And I just saw this one. And I was like, this sounds Club 33-esque. I was like, I'm going to go with that. Clicked it, applied, immediately got a call back the next day. Like actually in the same day. Can you do a phone interview? I was like, yeah. Interview, bam, like back to back to back. Like until they were like, can you come and do a tasting? And I was like, yes, of course. So then I had to go to club and actually I went to Napa Rose in California Adventure. Did one tasting there.
Okay.
And that was fun. And that kitchen's really cool because it's all open. And I remember I was doing my tasting and they're in the middle of service and there's a couple sitting by the pastry area and then they're looking at me as I'm doing my tasting. And I'm like, it was the first time I ever felt like the heat. Like these people were staring at me and I can see them sipping their wine, watching me. And I'm like, oh Lord, these people are watching me. Like, I better make sure I'm doing everything right. Like, I need to make sure I know what I'm doing. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't know why. Like, more so than me worrying about the chefs looking at me, I was worried about the guests.
It's
like,
intimidating.
Yeah, like they sit there on the countertops on the chef's counters because they want to watch the kitchen. And I felt so much pressure and I was like, okay. And I was like, calm down, Jessica. I was like, you can do this. And like plated everything up. The chefs like it. They were like, where would you like to work at? And I was like, what do you mean, where do I get to work at? And then I was like, well, I'd like to work at Club 33, please, if you can. And they're like, yeah, let's call up the chef and let's see if he's got time to give you a tasting. And I was like, okay. Trying not to be so eager and trying to hold back so much on myself.
Yeah.
Inside, I'm jumping and I'm so excited because I'm a Disney freak. I love Disney.
At what point did you know you got the job?
Yeah.
I think it was when they asked me for if I wanted to do the tasting, to come back another day to do a club tasting. And I remember going back to work because at this time I told you I was a sous chef for my friend David. And I told him and then he's like, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Just don't worry.
Yeah.
And like makes me tear up because I'm just like he had so much faith in me, even though like he knew I was going to be like leaving him. Like he just had so much faith in me. I was just like, okay. I was like, I'm going to get it. Like, so I went to the tasting and I did, like they asked me to stay longer even after I was done, to hang out for the rest of the evening if I wanted to. And everybody was telling me that like, that's a good sign that the chef asked you that. That means that he likes you. And I was like, okay, like, cool. And then next day, they called me and then, just offered it to me. And I was so happy. I was just like, damn. I remember telling myself one day I'm going to make so much money that I can be a member there or I'm going to work there.
Yeah.
I was like, but either way, I'm going to make it into this freaking place. I was like, I promise myself that. And it's like this little thing I never told anybody, but I was just like, that was my thing. I was like, because I love Disney so much. I was like, I'm going to get there. And then, I got there. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
What a gig though. What a gig and how it happened. And I felt like it happened so quickly.
It was like meant for you.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it.
So, okay, you get the gig. Who's the first person you call?
My boyfriend at that time.
Oh,
look at what you invested in.
Right? So
yeah,
what
and it was
what do you tell
the
him?
same guy.
Oh my God.
That's
Okay, so
awesome.
guess what? It happened. I'm in. This is it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Pretty much, yeah. But things didn't work out with that. But, especially because, like, the further down the road you get into the career,
right,
the more hectic your schedule gets.
Oh, yeah.
And with somebody who has a 9-to-5 job, it's not going to pan out. And it's okay. Like, we're good. Like, we're good. He and I, and everything like that. Like I said, I told him, I was like, I'm very grateful for all the support that you gave me and everything like that. I was like, but this is probably the part where our paths have to separate.
Yeah.
I was like, and if I really want to give this place 100%, like, I got to do it whole heart and whatnot. And, you know, and that was that. And it was fine. Totally fine. But yeah, that was the first person I called. I was like, you see, and then, you know, so.
But it's really the beginning of a journey, you know, of this amazing career.
Yeah.
You know, for an amazing young talent, you know, out of homegrown Southern California. But I think about, you know, being a chef at Club 33, because it's probably, if you don't know what Club 33 is, it's probably one of the most exclusive restaurants that you could ever have access to. It's at Disneyland, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it the only place where you can actually drink liquor? Well, no. I guess back in the day it used to be.
Back in the day, but now we have Olga's Cantina in Star Wars Land.
Right.
See, I wouldn't know.
And California Adventure, you can drink alcohol, because I walk around with a margarita all the time.
Technically in Disneyland, Club 33 was the only one that could have alcohol up until Star Wars Land opened up, and they opened up the Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is above...
Just barely.
Just barely, yeah.
Is it above Pirates of the Caribbean or somewhere in that area?
Yes, it's right above Pirates.
I remember having like a bread bowl from that gumbo place, and I would look up and be like,
fave.
I wonder what it's like in there, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because even that...
I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
They haven't closed it, right?
That's like my dream. Yeah, but I got to make enough money to get in that place.
Or we got to know somebody.
Unless somebody knows somebody.
You know what I mean? So, okay, but what I want to know is the clientele. Who did you see coming in and out of that place?
If I tell you, I have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody.
No, I'm just kidding. You know what?
Sign a waiver.
You know what's interesting about this place? If you're able to...
Oh, that's good wine, by the way. That's really good wine.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're able to pay the dues and the fees and everything, like, you can get in. So it seems unfair because of the cost, but it's not at the same time, because it's open to anybody. You could be a celebrity. You could be the owner of a company. You can be an heiress, or you know, or just be friends with a person.
It doesn't matter your status,
right?
No,
it just matters if you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can, you know, and then if you can make the wait list and you're willing to wait and everything like that. But
how long is the wait list, by the way?
I don't know. I feel like it's like I've heard it's about 10 years. I don't know 100%.
That's a wait list.
I mean, I don't know.
Thinking a year.
Don't quote
years.
Don't quote me. It's just, you know, it's from what I've heard. I don't really deal with all that.
You just shot my hopes and dreams
down. In today's world, how do you even know you're going to be alive in 10 years?
I know.
You know what? To that, I've actually become friends with some of the members, and honestly, they're wonderful people, and they just love Disney. They love going there. They love to enjoy it. They have family. They have their children, so they're able to take them into club, go to the park for the day, come in, eat, leave again, come back in, because we have a lounge. So the lounge is kind of like you can come in and out of, but the dinner room, that's where you have to have reservations and such. But so what they told me, they have, I mean, I hope they don't mind me sharing this little bit of a story, but you know, that they submitted for membership, and it wasn't until some years later that they finally got a gold envelope delivered to their home. And this is already their one child deep. So I think second on the way, if I remember her story correctly. And her, you know, they get the letter and it's gold, and then they describe the parchment paper and like the handwritten letter about, you know, acceptance to being a member and da-da-da-da-da. And it sounded like it was a beautiful story. And she was like, I was like, wow, you guys really waited that long and still wanted it. You know, it's amazing, you know, but yes, the wait list is very long.
Wow.
But it's well worth it.
But
and
here's my question though. Yeah, tell me.
And they got referbished. So the club is actually a little bit larger now. And we have Royal 21.
Is that what it used to look like, or is that?
That's actually that's Salon Nouveau. That looks like it right now.
Oh, okay. So that's not it.
No, that's it. That's our lounge.
That's the newest.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's our bar area, our lounge.
All right. So what I want to know is, how much does it cost?
Freddie, this is our goal.
Right.
Even if we have to wait 10 years, damn it, we're going.
I mean, what difference does it make?
I'm obsessed with Disneyland, like my whole entire life. I've seen every Disney movie. I probably own every Disney movie. And I had Mickey Mouse everything when I was young. I even had curtains, sheets, pillowcases, comforter. I literally slept in Mickey Mouse. I'm not kidding. Like that's my thing.
How much does it cost?
I don't know the membership cost. Because that's not my area.
Let me see if we can pull it up.
I think they might have it up there.
It's probably listed.
Let's see here.
I'm pretty sure if you bing a couple questions, it'll come out.
Membership, is that right?
Membership fees.
Let's see how much this is. Hold on a second. Michelle, can you read that?
Yes, it's $33,000 to join with a $15,000 annual fee.
Oh, no problem. Michelle, you want to join tomorrow?
Yeah. We totally got that in my pocket.
Done.
Right now. Wow.
Like,
okay.
$33,000.
Not to get personal, however, I bet you got really good tips from there.
I don't get tipped.
They weren't allowed
No.
to.
So I'm they're.
Oh well, you
as
personally
the back of the,
as the chef.
No.
in the
Yeah,
back, you're
as
not.
back of the house, we don't get tipped. We get paid. I think we get paid well.
Yeah.
For working there, you have to consider that we're separate from the rest of the park.
Right.
So we're like our own little entity.
But the
and whatnot.
servers
But the
and
servers.
bartenders.
Oh yes,
Oh, my gosh.
honey, yes.
I would not leave there. I would be like, I could work there every day.
We have some servers that have been there for I think about 20 plus years.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's good.
Yeah. And if
but
you're a
they're
good
happy.
people person, then
Everybody there
your tips
honestly
are
is a
incredible.
good people person.
Can you give us a hint at who was like a frequent there or who you've seen there? You don't have to tell the name, but if
There's
you
a
can give us a
certain
hint.
Playboy bunny who likes to go to Club 33.
Yeah. Okay. You
Unless-
might have met her before
She
on
does
one
like
of your Playboy radio tapes.
she does like to frequent Club 33. What's nice is that I saw Orlando Bloom.
Oh, that's
Hey,
good.
Yeah.
I could see Orlando Bloom.
I could see that.
because Katie was there.
Ah.
So for American Idol, your boy Ryan Seacrest. So when they would do American Idol there at Disney, they'd come to Royal 21, which is the more private part of Club 33, and the chefs would do special meals for them there in between, like the shows and the takes and everything like that.
Wow.
So I believe Katie was there having dinner for the evening, and then I was walking out of the foyer, and in comes Orlando, and I was like, oh, like
Hello.
I was like,
I cooked your food today.
Was
was
he as good looking in person as?
yes.
Hell yes.
No, he
Duh.
was. He's very handsome, and he has gorgeous curly hair.
Ooh.
And I guess because we tend to think celebrities may not look like themselves in person as to the pictures we see online. So I think I was more taken back that he looked just how he looked like in a photo.
That's
Okay.
a rare thing because
That is kind of for a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, like instantly I knew it was him. Like there was no gimmicky stuff.
It's
you know,
easy.
like it was easy.
It's
I was
easy
like,
to
oh,
see somebody you've seen on TV and then you look exactly like, oh my gosh.
He's got a look, though. He's got a look.
He
no,
does.
but he's a handsome man. He was super
Yeah.
simple. It wasn't nothing crazy. And he was like, what? He acknowledged me the way I acknowledged him, like visually, like, and it wasn't. I was like, that's enough for me. That's
Yeah.
You were like,
that's enough for me.
"Hey."
It's like, hi. No, I wanted to. George Lopez was there too. Actually, I had seen him.
Hey, George
as well.
Lopez. By the way, let me just say, George Lopez is one of the nicest guys in the industry. And I know there's a rap about him, with everything that happened after. But I remember I was 18 years old and I had this, I was out of high school and I had this radio station online that had maybe 2 listeners. And I think I was my mom and dad at the time. And I asked him, I go, George, can you say, hey, this is George Lopez and I'm hanging with my boy Freddy Rivera? And he goes, man, I got you, bro. And I got to find this clip. But he goes, hey, this is George Lopez. And I got to say right now, I don't know who has a better fade than me or if it's Freddy Rivera, this guy right here. I'm chilling with this guy. And I always got to thank George Lopez for that. Coolest guy ever. But that's really cool. You got to see George.
Yeah, same thing. Walking through the foyer, and okay, for this one, I think I got a little bit more starstruck, and I did one of these. Hi. And I literally walked out, and I was like, stupid. Like,
Girl, you could have
Wait,
done it
did he wave
differently.
back? Did he?
I think
did
he
the
kind of
nod?
caught. I think he caught my awkwardness,
Yeah.
and he was like, he didn't know what to do with it either. He was just like, hi, just like,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn it.
George has a really big head.
Yeah.
That's the one thing him and I have in common.
Little bit.
Our heads
Little bit.
are bigger than our the ratio between our heads and our bodies. It's very weird.
Freddie and I were joking about it. Was it yesterday or the day before? When did you post it?
About my big head.
Yeah, he
yeah.
posted a picture on his story that said, "Why is my head so big?" And you guys can't see the DMs, obviously, but I DM him, Jimmy Neutron. It's
Seriously.
an inside
I
joke
remember
that I say
this.
he looks like Jimmy Neutron.
I think you told me about that.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
It's a true story. I'm telling you, I wasn't making it up. But how cool is that? So Orlando Bloom, George Lopez.
I'm sure a lot of people.
You've seen a lot of people there. And maybe Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom had this special VIP treatment because they were there at the VIP exclusive lounge. But we have one of the chefs exclusively here in Rancho Cucamonga.
Even better.
On Radio Flyer. And by the way, we want to thank you for being here, too.
No, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be a part of it. You guys are such a good vibe.
Oh, thank you. So how long did you stay there?
Well, I am furloughed.
Okay.
And so
you could go back.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, awesome.
So if they call me back, I've been fortunate enough to not be let go by the company. So I'm still furloughed. So that gives me hope. So they can call me back whenever things get better. We're able to open up because, again, like I said, we're kind of a separate entity. Like we're still we're a part of the park, of course, but we have different rules, I think, in my head. But yeah, if they call me back, I will 100% go back because that place, like, that's family. Like, it just, it really, 2 years plus there, I developed such a bond with everybody there in the kitchen, like, for better or for worse, like, with my chef team, with my coworkers, with everybody there, in the restaurant. And it was such a bummer when the closure happened because I was like, man, like, I was just coming in. Like, I felt the first year there was me proving to myself that I could do it, that I could succeed, that I could really make it happen. I'm in a place where nobody knows me. I'm in a place where I have no friends. There's no one there to give me a leg up, to give me it's okay, mija, like, nothing like that. Like, if I F up, I'm going to hear it. There's no one who's going to save me. And that's what I wanted. I was like, I don't want anybody to come and save me. Like,
accountability.
I want to do it by myself. Like, I want to prove to myself that I can do it. And like I did. So that second year was me grinding even harder to push to the next level, to get a promotion, to get a higher level there, and to push, to gain the full trust of a chef team, to gain just a different rapport there. I wanted to be seen different, not just as like that new person in, and I totally was, I loved it, and that furlough happened, and just it just tore me apart. I was home, and I was like, I'm not even happy to be home. I was like, I'm falling apart. Like, I'm depressed. I was like, I'm sad. Like, you guys, there's like this thing I'm sure for everybody, it took away my purpose. And this is what I said earlier when we were talking, that when I was in college, I felt like I had no purpose. And in life, like, I feel like we strive for that purpose, and like, this was my purpose, like, to bring joy, to bring happiness with the things that I created, to be a part of a team that was doing that, like, for so many people. And then it was just, I literally felt like it was ripped out of my hands. And I was like, oh, what? What do you mean? Like, it stops.
And because you were starting this momentum in your career.
Like, think of it like this. Like, I was in this crescendo. Think of a song in the orchestra, right? And you're at this peak, this crescendo, and then the music just stops. Like, it's just done.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, huh? Like, is this not going to stop? It's not going to continue?
Yeah, well, you got your dream job after working your ass off to get it, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way right now. Yeah. Especially with the Disneyland employees. I feel for them. Like, I know you're like a separate entity, but all of them there, I know that people, because I have family members that work at Disneyland, but like it's like something that a lot of people stay at long term. So it was devastating when they said they were going to close. I don't think I've ever seen it close, ever, in the history of ever. Even during the measles outbreak, it was open. Even during everything.
I think there was one time in history that it closed. And I was reading on that. And I don't want to say the wrong information on it. But I think... I can't remember. But yeah, this is like, I remember reading about it. I want to say it may have been... when JFK was shot?
Maybe.
I think it was when JFK was shot that they closed the park. Something like that. It was something, but
like
it was
a sign of respect.
Yeah, it was one day, I believe.
And see, this is crazy. I don't think anybody's ever seen it this bad. Oh, the Northridge quake.
Oh, the Northridge quake.
Partially closed
right there.
only.
9/11?
Yeah.
Oh, and then JFK.
1963?
1963. Yeah, a period of mourning for JFK.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is the longest
So-
closure it's ever seen.
So what brought you to be at Las Brisas?
So
Which is a beautiful place, by the way.
it's gorgeous.
You haven't been there before, Michelle?
I have not, but I have friends that have eaten there, and I seen that. I don't like at this point. I'm sure the food is good, but I don't even care what the food tastes like. The views are beautiful.
Yeah. The
The view's
Instagram.
gorgeous.
If
You're like,
you're not following us on
my
Instagram,
total date spot for sure.
it's a very photogenic spot. Now,
Yes.
yeah. So how did you end up there?
So I was in the middle of quarantine, hustling my little butt off, doing meal preps and making bread puddings and
Oh, that's
pastries
cool.
to sell because your girl needed money.
Yeah.
And whatnot. You know, I'm thankful for EDD, but still, you know, I still needed to be working with my hands because I love to feed people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I love to feed people. And I was like, if not, I'm going to feed myself. And that was already
Freddie
going
and I are
terrible.
hungry a lot, so
I'm telling
I mean,
you.
we're people and we
24/7.
love to eat all the time.
I should have just brought all my stuff and we could have been making food
we could have
right
been
now.
right here on a little griddle. We'll just do it on this grill.
You know what? I would,
indoor grill.
I would have done some little like Benihana status right here.
Next time,
Right? Yeah, I know.
portable hibachi.
Portable
you and I.
hibachi.
Hey, not a bad idea, actually.
I got you. I'll wear the hat and everything. I swear.
Yes.
You look really good, though. I feel like you have a lot of confidence working at Las Brisas right now. You look that way right now.
Yeah.
I do. Like, it's definitely a role that I knew that once I got my sea legs, like, for it, I would be good for it. I really like people, and I do understand that everybody reacts differently to different things and how you talk to them and how you present information. You can't baby everybody, of course, but not everybody responds to the, like, quote unquote Gordon Ramsay like yelling style of the kitchen. You know, we're a different being here in the States. Our cooking is a lot different from like anywhere else. And you know, you have to understand the people that you work with, right? You got to understand the body language. Like I just like people, right? So, you know, a friend of mine got the job there first, and then my friend Frankie, and then he told me that they needed another sous chef. And I was like, okay. He's like, I threw your name in the hat. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, Matt, I love him. Like, he's amazing. He's my friend that I told you. He lives down the street from me.
Yeah.
But he's another chef too. And he's always looking out for me. And, you know, he's like, hey, I'm going to throw your name in the hat. But again, it's always on me. Right? It's always on you. If someone, you know, throws your name in the hat somewhere, it's on you to always get a job. So I did my interview, you know, over the phone and everything like that. And they're like, yeah, we love it. Like, you know, come in, check it out. And I was just like, yeah, you know, like that's our beautiful patio area.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous view. None of that is fake. That is
it
all real.
open right now?
Okay.
Good question, Michelle.
I'm gonna wait because
So-
Freddie and I want to go eat. So I'm trying to figure
Actually-
out if they're open right now.
Actually, I just got word today that so we aren't open. We're doing takeout only, but we have a really large rose garden that we had transformed our ballet parking lot into an outdoor patio area.
Okay.
So it's been closed off because of the new restrictions, but we just got word today that we're allowing people to go ahead and eat there if they choose. So you can
Awesome.
order takeout and you
And
can
then
order
eat.
drinks and you can eat there and just throw your own stuff away, basically.
Yeah. You're not like getting served.
Yeah, there's no table service. Like, we'll drop it to you, and then, like, we walk away. And,
Yeah, it's
like,
not
that's
our
it.
fault you're
Yeah.
eating in a rose
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
kind of like that, just, you know.
Can you drink there?
Yes. Yes, you can. Our wines are 50% off.
I mean,
Michelle, can you,
the wines are 50%
Can you
off.
check your calendar for next weekend,
the wines
please?
Hold
are
on.
50% off.
Can you let me know what you're doing Saturday?
One second,
And we-
please.
Por favor.
1 second, please.
I'll drive.
And we make
Putting this in my calendar.
we make our
ASAP.
margaritas fresh daily. They're really, really good. We use Casamigos for our tequila.
You know that's my gig.
So super bomb, and we have a full bar too. So we don't keep it limited. We have a bartender on all the time, and he makes all the beverages. So you can basically have anything that you want there.
Do you know what I like about Chef Jessica Tiffany is the fact that she, at least judging by the Instagram, she walks out and takes pictures with everybody and talks to people. And I find that amazing.
We're definitely going to request you to do that.
I
For us.
feel like chefs don't do that enough.
I know because there's times where because Freddie and I have gone to a million places probably to eat together. There's times where I feel like we should have asked if we could shake their hand at least,
Right.
Like, because we've been to great places and we're like, wow, who made this?
Yeah.
And when you eat if you eat at good places,
Yeah.
you can't settle anymore.
You know, but
You can't.
Jose Andres, the Bazaar, was walking around casually, just saying what up to people.
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette outside. This guy, most casual dude ever.
Of course.
And he's huge. He's huge. And I feel like, why don't these chefs do this? I mean, take a photo.
I don't think they get how important they are. Maybe I don't know.
Honestly, it's to each their own. You know, because some prefer to be out of the limelight, quote unquote limelight, because they want the focus to be on the food.
Right.
And I'm all for that. Remember, like to each your own. I just love people.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. I'm like, I can't not talk to people. Like there's times I'll take a break from the kitchen and I'll like forego sitting down, you know, after like already working like 8 hours and I still got like 4 to 6 more to go. But I'm like, I'm going to walk outside and I'll walk up and down our rose garden. I just want to see everybody enjoying it. I want to see if anybody's upset. I want to see who's having a great time. Can I feel somebody else's water?
You want to put your fingers on the pulse.
I got to feel the beat out there. Like I want to know what's going on. Like I want to see how their servers are. And I come walking through and I look at them like, why are you just talking to each other?
Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't you giving them water? You know, but I say with my eyes, I'm just like, what are you doing? And then they're like, okay, I'm going to go work. And I'm just like, thank you. You know, because I'm just like, come on now, you know, but like, it's because I care about the guest experience. I want them to have a really great time. And like, if a table has had a mishap or whatever, I don't mind walking out the food personally and apologizing for it. Because I feel like sometimes people get the feeling that if there was an error and the server just kind of like drops it off to them, they're just like, okay, well, here's my refix, and okay, like now I got to enjoy it like 10 minutes after everybody else is finished. But if I at least walk it out, they feel a little bit better about it. And I'm just like, you know, I do apologize about that. I'm very sorry, but I do hope that you enjoy it and we made this personally for you. And it gives a little bit of a touch to it, you know, makes somebody feel like they got cared for. It wasn't just like we grabbed somebody else's order off of another ticket and fed it off to them, you know, like it's like I just want it to be more personal.
I like
you know, I just, that's something that I like. And it's something I carried over from club because every dish gets made as if they're VIP, regardless. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not. Any food you put out there, if you wouldn't serve it to your mother, you know, if you have good relationship with your mom, or if you wouldn't serve it to somebody that you love and care for, then don't serve it to your guest.
Right.
And that's something that they told us that at club.
Consistent professionalism.
I know.
From a real professional. Chris Martin Coldplay once said that in an interview. He goes, they asked him, they go, how do you always, there's a picture of it. How do you always perform
it's a good photo
at your peak? And he goes, well, you know, I picture somebody out there in the audience being their first concert. And there's somebody in the audience also, this is their last concert.
Oh,
at
that's nice.
Each show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
like their
always
first
gotta-
meal, their last meal. Like
Yeah.
that's how you could think of.
Yeah, it should always be the best that you can do. Because at the end of the day, the food that we put out, it's always going to be an extension of ourselves. Whether you're the executive chef, the sous chef, or if you're the line cook, it's an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
An extension of the people who taught you before, and everything like that. You should put your best 100% every single time. You see a little fingerprint on the edge of the plate, wipe it off.
Yeah.
You know you see it there, wipe it off.
You mentioned Gordon Ramsay and his style of cooking and yelling at the, you know, because this is what he does on TV, which is great, by the way. I'm a huge
I
fan
love
of
it.
Gordon Ramsay.
Me too.
Is it really like that in kitchens here in the U.S. today?
I think it's just like to each kitchen their own. There's always the language of the kitchen depends on the language of the chef, and that's
Yeah.
what I feel like.
Right.
They set the tone.
Right. Yeah.
Because
They run the show.
They run it, you know, like, and even when they're not there, the kitchen still runs as though they are there. And I say this because I'll give an example for me at club, for instance, that our executive chef had a certain ideology and ways of being, and we followed it whether he was there or not, because we would tell ourselves, like, something as small as you see the piece of trash on the floor, don't walk past it, pick it up. Or you just, these little tiny things, like, you already know that you've screwed your sauce.
Yeah.
Just stop and go make another one.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to fix it. You know, just like, there's sometimes like where you just gotta just react. Or he would always have this line and say, I don't wait, I just go. And I kind of adopted that for myself because I was like, I like that. And I was like, he would say, I don't wait, I just go. Like, he just like, I'm not gonna wait for anybody to tell him to make a move on something. You know, like you hear the expo calling out to something and like, or a server coming back like, oh, this person, they're showing the plate and this person wants this instead. And you could hear it and just get fired. Oh, why are you going to wait? Just fire it off. Just make another one.
Yeah.
You know, like I hate when people want to sit there and complain in the middle of service and be like, but da da da. I'm like, just make the damn thing and we can complain about it afterwards.
Right.
Like, just stop, you know, like, or whatever. But as far as the yelling and stuff, like, yeah, it gets heated. You know, we've had chefs, like, I've had a chef throw, crock pots at the wall,
Wow.
you know, or whatever, like that little cast iron thing.
Yeah.
He's like all upset. And this is like in the beginning of me cooking and I was there on like garde-manger and I was like, oh, he just threw it just cracked. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to keep working.
He's
and
having,
I was like, oh,
he's having a bad day.
I was like, oh, he's upset.
So it's.
I got to catch up.
I admire your passion so much for this because I absolutely love to cook, and people think I'm crazy for it, but I can cook all day, every day, for hours and
You are
hours and
cooking,
hours.
Let me hit you with the most favorite question any chef could get. What's your favorite thing to cook? We actually hate when you ask us this.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Everything.
Well, I'm glad you said that because now I'm not going to ask you that. So
Yeah, I love cooking like old recipes passed down from family members because there's nothing like that. You don't measure. That's what's hard. You don't measure. You don't. It's not like following a recipe. You just have to do it from memory and from watching and from knowing and from them telling you, put a little of this, a little of that.
Yeah.
And you can always make it your own. And then, it's funny because I've given that passion a little bit to my son. He's going to be 18, so he's a little bit lazy sometimes. But when he gets in there and he'll try, then he's so excited that he made something. Yeah. And you see that he will do it. And I really think that not everyone can cook. Everyone can get by, but you really have to love it and you really have to have a skill for it because you cook something 30 seconds more than it should be and it's going to taste like dirt.
right.
I very rarely burn anything anymore. Like I did it for a long time when I was younger. And then you learn. My dad was my biggest critic. Not to talk trash about my dad because he's probably listening right now. However,
I like most of your disclaimers.
he was my best critic because he wanted to be a chef before he was an engineer, and he wants his food damn near perfect. So
By the way, I loved how he was reviewing his food and tequila
oh
on Instagram. By the way. I saw
Oh my
that.
God. Wasn't he hilarious?
Yeah.
And okay, that bottle of Don Julio is delicious, by the way. But anyway, he was just like, this is the tamales I made, like all this credit for it. And no lie, our family tamales, I've had people for the last 15 years tell me they've never had a tamale as good as we make them.
Yeah.
Ever. Like people still request me to make them.
Are you taking orders?
I know, and it's funny. I was trying to make some, and I was going to make like some simple green chili cheese ones last weekend. Ooh. They sold out of hojas. They sold out of the peppers, the chilies, the everything everywhere, and all the stores around me. And I'm like, I'm not going to drive
Here's
to
the thing.
other
I feel like you
cities
have to have a lot. You have to have patience.
Oh, tamales take forever.
To,
like sometimes days.
But I feel like, okay, so I love to juxtapose like cultures beside each other. And like tamales and dumplings, right? Like when families make dumplings, it's a family thing, right? You sit around the table, you have conversation, you make dumplings, right? An assembly line, it's a whole thing. The same thing with tamales. You can't just do it by yourself. You need to have all the tias. You got to have all the
when
grandchildren.
you do it together,
it goes by so much faster
good.
because you're just enjoying the family time. And that's what I've missed the most of my family time. Like back in the days when we were all younger, we weren't going places and everything like that. We would get together with my grandma, with the family, and we make tamales. And all my aunts be cracking up, drinking their cervezas, just laughing, whatever, playing the mariachi music, doing the gritos and everything like that. And we're just there like, oh my God, I don't want to make tamales.
Wait, so on that note, Chef Jessica Tiffany, what is your favorite thing to make? I'm just kidding. No, here's
cereal.
Cereal.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything.
Lucky Charms, excuse me. That's
Lucky
my
Charms
favorite.
is the bomb.
Okay, but now where we're at.
They're magically delicious.
Yes.
In today's world, from your professional point of view, if someone has a mom and pop restaurant and it's, El Salvadorian or Guatemalan or it's, Chinese or Italian, whatever.
Pizza.
What is the outlook of the restaurant industry during this pandemic, in your opinion? I mean, there's a lot.
I mean,
of,
sorry.
there's a lot. I mean, the chain restaurants we know are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're there because they're big business, and they're gonna get bailed out, and they're gonna get help from the government because they got all these guys that they're just. The mom and pops
are bad for the mom and pops.
They're hurting, you know, like they've put everything into these business. They've put everything into it. Their kids work in them, you know, like, and they're hurting because they can't staff accordingly, you know, like, and then they got staff that's been there for X amount of years. Now they can't pay, you know, like we just talked about. Broken Spanish closed its doors.
God,
Yes, he's working on other projects.
Heard about
but
that.
you got to take an L for a potential future win.
Yeah.
You know, but like, what about those people that had to get let go?
Right. And
You
keep
know,
in
like-
mind,
like for it, you
Chef
know, like-
Ray Garcia, I mean, the guy has a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying, but
But-
saying, like, for example, like all these other restaurants, like that have had to close their doors because they're not
Yeah.
gonna make it right now. You know,
I
like
try to
they-
support as many small businesses around here that I can. I try, like, I like to cook myself, but I've been trying to get takeout as much as I can from these small businesses because I feel so bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
It's-
give them my business more than I haven't gone to like a big chain in a long time.
Like,
I always stay going to
like
smaller
those guys
places.
those guys are gonna be fine, but
Yeah.
it's our industry is hurting. Our industry is hurting really bad right now, and it sucks because it's like in the middle of the quarantine, everything was closed, and all you could do was go out and eat, right? So we made adjustments, bought the patio furniture, bought the
Which
extra
costs
sanitizer
a lot for those permits and all that, by the way.
Exactly. We put up everything. You know, like staff. Okay, let me tell you something. We had this big old tent over here at Brisas, and we had some really crazy Santa Ana winds one day, one morning. And I have video of it. Our thing was flying off, and it was about to fly off into the ocean. Mm-hmm. Myself, the other chefs, and staff were holding it down. This thing, though, all the aluminum was bent because of how strong the wind was. Things were flying everywhere. But to save our patio, right? Because we wanted to make sure that everybody was safe, you know, took it down, disassembled it, you know, and everything like that, like to make sure that like when service actually started, it was safe for everybody to come, you know. But it's something like that. It's kind of like, oh, we worked so hard for it. Now the wind's going to take it away. It's like, we can't catch a break in 2020 over here, you know? Like, it's just, it's like, it's just hard, you know? Like, it makes me really sad to see everybody struggling so hard, and you've got great organizations like Know Us Without You over there in East LA, you know, with
What is that?
you haven't heard of them? Okay, so
I haven't heard of them either.
Vala Hospitality Group. I know them because one of my friends from high school, Vince Nolasco, his older brother Oton Nolasco, him and along with his couple other friends, they created a hospitality group. Well, when all of the industry started taking a dive in the pandemic, nobody was thinking about the back of the house workers who can't claim unemployment, right? Potentially are illegal, potentially, you know, just they're here on visas or anything like that. Nobody's thinking about them. The ones who are back there making your order, you know, your extra order that you want to order with all your modifications and whatever. You're not thinking about the people who are back there cooking it, who are your dishwashers, who are your porters or anything like that. So this organization is there getting food, you know, for these families. You know, like getting a charity, like, you know, for them and helping them out, helping to free these back of the house families who aren't going to get helped by the government because the government doesn't care about them, essentially. You know, they're not thinking about them with all these other things. Like, they don't get the stimulus check, you know. You know, so that's what his organization does. And it's taken off throughout this whole pandemic. And it started from just like 30 families to way more now.
That's awesome.
You know, it's been like, it's beautiful to see it grow. I believe that they were on the Kelly Clarkson show maybe
cool.
like a week and a half ago or so, because it's taken off, because they're doing such a great and beautiful thing for our industry and for our back of the house workers, just for industry workers, period. You know, and, you know, it's those little things, you know, like we have to fend for ourselves in this industry now because we've seen that the government doesn't really want to help us out. You know, I'm like, like everybody's doing their part, helping one another out instead of that whole like competition vibe that each restaurant had with one another. Like, oh, we got to be better than so and so. Da 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 da. Now everybody's banded together, and everybody's tried to help one another. Hey, you guys need PPE? We got PPE. You guys like need staff? Hey, we got extra staff that needs jobs. You have jobs? Like everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's having a better dialogue with one another. Like we've always been one, but we've never been more one than like right now, looking out for one another.
I have a dumb question. Generally speaking, can a restaurant survive on takeout orders and with no dine-in?
They can potentially survive, but they won't thrive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for instance, I'm pretty sure the Domino's and Pizza Hut, right? They're fine.
Yeah.
Because they've pretty much been takeout
They've been
forever.
doing takeout
Right,
and delivery since the jump.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they only have to maybe put one person in the front handling the cashier.
They got a hole in the wall.
And and one person in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And they have one person in the back just popping the pizzas in, right? Because the dough comes pre-made to them or whatever. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, certain places like that can totally survive because they've been doing it for years.
Well, think of it like this. Like the takeout places, pizza, different things like that. I mean, I even love cold pizza. So it could survive 30 minutes, an hour later, everybody's still going to eat the pizza.
Right.
When you go get a steak or fajitas,
Good point.
That's not sizzling and not,
Mm-hmm.
and you eat it 30 minutes that it takes to deliver to your house,
Not the
there's
same.
no way it's the same.
Michelle, you say that because I ordered Fleming's twice from another steakhouse.
So
once.
have I.
And and don't get me wrong,
I
the
loved
steak is
it.
amazing, but the steak,
It's not
it doesn't
fresh.
survive
The
the
drive.
temperature.
There's
Yeah.
only so much a steak needs to rest,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't need to rest for like an hour.
And
Good
then
point.
you can just go ahead and just, do not put a steak in the microwave.
No.
No. Like that's just a terrible thing to do. And that's what I'm thinking about too, is like you can't microwave this beautiful food. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking the microwave.
I'm gonna use this as a sound bit. So from Chef Jessica Tiffany, can you just say what you just said right now about a steak?
You do not.
never microwave a steak.
Boom. There
Never.
It is.
Never.
Why?
Never.
Why?
The integrity of the protein.
It's
Yeah.
just it won't taste the same.
It's just not going to taste the same. You got to
Plus,
give
you
it.
should never order your steak well done. I want to hear her say that right now. Ever.
Do not order your steak burnt. I mean, well done.
Ever.
I love the posture, by the way.
I feel like it's. I want to break up friendships from people who say they drink. They
But
have their
once
steak
again,
well done.
but look. Once again, to each their own. Because I have this argument with my mother all the time because she likes her meat extra dead.
I feel like the
Extra dead.
generational thing where
And
they
I'm
like
just
their
like,
overcooked
I
steak.
can't do that.
And then she gets upset with me when I dare serve her anything medium. And she's like, I don't like that. And I'm just like,
I think
well,
mine should still be moving across the table a little bit.
I was like,
Probably.
it's okay.
wiggle.
I'll take it black and blue or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to hear it mooing a little bit.
Me too. Blood everywhere.
Okay, wait. Now I have to ask a question.
Yeah,
I want to know, what are your favorite spots in LA?
it's a great question.
Oh.
I had a list, but half of my list is closed. But and my number one was Broken Spanish.
Okay.
I think there was
Toca Madera was one of my top.
that was yours.
Mm-hmm.
You also loved. Come on, it was an uber expensive restaurant. They had like a giant.
Oh, Barton G.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay, I've been there. You like that place?
I like the fun of it.
Okay.
The food was good. It might not have been the best I've ever had, but the whole fun being there for 2.5 hours of just
Yeah.
outrageous stuff on your table.
That place was pretty fun.
Yeah, like this, like Mama por Dios is kind of the same way over here, but like a little mini version of
Yep,
it. But
yep.
that's why I like that place. 'Cause
So what
it's,
did you
like, fun,
order? What
entertaining.
was your fun thing on your table?
I had the Caesar salad, so it had like a whole Caesar on my table, the whole Caesar.
That's nutty. That is nutty.
And what else did we have? We ordered so much stuff. Yeah. There's other places that
Night and Market Song in Silver Lake is phenomenal.
You've been
It's
telling
one
me
of my
about
favorite
that.
spots. You can't reserve. You always have to wait. I mean, I don't know if it's open now, but I mean, Night and Market Song, a Thai restaurant in Silver Lake, phenomenal.
yeah.
I do love some good Thai food.
Yeah, and Ruin Par also on
I don't know
Hollywood Boulevard, also a great spot.
You know where I just went in Orange County 2 weeks ago, whatever, for Jessica's birthday? Red O.
Oh yeah, that's
So
okay.
freaking good.
In Newport.
Yes.
Yeah, Chef Rick Bayless.
They have
Oh my
another
gosh.
one.
Food.
They have another one off of Melrose.
Santa Monica.
Yeah,
they have
they
one in
do.
Santa Monica too. Santa Monica, Melrose, and then he has Newport.
Because we talked to the manager for a long time. He was at our table chilling forever over at the one in Newport. And he says that the one in Newport is his favorite location. He's worked at the other ones.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I like it here.
It's beautiful inside.
Can I give a
cool
shout out to
vibe.
Gwen, by the way?
So good.
Gwen Steakhouse off of Melrose in Hollywood
Yeah.
is an experience.
Yeah?
You ever been to Gwen?
No.
So it's like it's like a quarter butcher shop, and it's like the rest is a restaurant. Not a big
That's
place.
by Chef Curtis Stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went to his other restaurant. Oh my God. It's the wine. It's making me forget things. But it starts with an M.
And it's what
Took me
city?
there. LA.
Oh, LA.
Curtis Stone's Maud.
Maud. I went to
Maud.
Maud. Yeah.
So okay, I'm thinking of another one. Bevel. Bevel is good. Okay, good.
What are we waiting
By the way,
for?
where do you see the restaurant industry ending up after this pandemic is over? Do you feel like the mom and pops, the ones that survive, will be able to succeed after all this is over with?
I think that they will.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this much. What's going to happen is that you're going to get a whole new strain.
A whole new
A
strain.
whole new strain of chefs and restaurateurs after this.
I absolutely think so.
A whole new one. Because
But
I'm going to tell you this from my own, just within my circle and with myself, we've all been home learning, reading, testing, practicing, creating concepts. Like, we've not stopped. You may have shut our doors. You may have told us we can only do takeout, but you've not stopped our ability to continue to learn and to continue to create. You just give us a stove, give me a freaking notebook and a pencil, give me a book. We're all still going to learn. We're all still going to create. You're not going to stop us from continuing to develop. So all that's happened is a new strain of chef, of cook, of mentality is going to come out of this. And you're going to see new concepts come up. Now you're going to start seeing people in restaurants ready for anything. Okay, now it's not just about a good indoor ambiance. It's about a good indoor-outdoor ambiance. You got to have you got to have a dope takeout menu. You got to have the best, whether it's Toast, whether it's Uber Eats, whatever. You're going to have the best takeout service available, right? That's fast, that's affordable. This is going to make everybody take so many precautionary measures that it's going to up the game up after this. It's going to change everything.
Only the best of the best talent is going to use this time in quarantine to make themselves better and improve themselves. Because when this all comes back, I mean, it's like you said, it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer. Not just for the restaurant industry, for a lot of people who have invested this time to improve their craft.
What I think what's going to happen is when everything comes back, I think it's going to be a huge boom for people who've always wanted to own a restaurant, always wanted to run a restaurant, to be able to finally do it. Because everything's going to be vacant, empty, and cheap.
Right.
And they're going to start from the bottom, and that food truck that they wanted to buy for $50,000 is now going to be $20,000 because people are going to be desperate to sell it, desperate to have money. And people who never had those dreams before are going to have their dreams come true. Yeah. So unfortunately, there's got to be a give and take with every recession and every bad time. The ones that survive the test of time are the ones that have money saved. They put money away. They have the right insurances. They have a legacy with their family. They still figure out ways, like you said, meal prep, different takeout, different ways, innovative ways. They have to think differently. But I think those are the ones that are going to stand.
No, I totally agree with you on that, 100%.
What about the white tablecloth, Michelin-rated, fine dining restaurants? Because before the pandemic even happened, I feel like, in my opinion, they were already kind of getting phased out with the new generation. It was a generational thing where this new generation just not their thing, fine dining. I think it's an older generation thing from my point of view, and I could be completely off. But now that the pandemic is here, in your opinion, where's fine dining? The white tablecloth restaurants, where are they headed?
They'll still be around.
They'll always still be around.
They'll always still be around because they just will.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that, like, I hope that they do, because it's something that I definitely aspire to be working in one day, whether it be working or to.
It's like tradition.
It's another genre, but it's like, it's that mecca. It's that cream of the crop,
right?
You know, and it's just, it'll be there, and they've adapted. You know, look at Thomas Keller, look at Daniel Boyle. They've all adapted, and I don't think that they're going to go anywhere. I think all that it is they're also going to have to change their mindset about things. Look at Alinea. Alinea decided, when they started doing takeout, they were doing their food and putting it all separate, right? Because you're used to getting your takeout food already assembled for you, right? Just eat immediately. No, right? It's disassembled, and he gives you instructions on like how to put everything together, you know, for yourselves, you know, like reheating it. Like I even had somebody ask me that at Brisas, you know, this woman wanted Thanksgiving dinner. She was like, I love your guys' food, you know, like, can you just give me instructions how to reheat things and da-da-da-da-da, you know, like, and blah, blah. So I think that's really awesome. You know, he adapted. You know, you still want your beautiful meal at home? Okay, fine. We're going to give you the information on how to make sure that it's just as beautiful as if you were here. You know, they adapt. And I think that they're always going to be here no matter what, because we'll teach it downward.
Right. And they're always going to have the audience, though. There's always going to be the elite and those who prefer the fine dining. I mean, like, one of my first restaurants that I ever went to was a fine dining that got me excited about the food industry was Sona, which was it was a Michelin rated restaurant years ago in LA. The guy became some kind of TV chef and just left the restaurant, I guess. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. But
I definitely don't think that they're going to go anywhere. I think they're just going to adapt, and they'll get better and everything.
Well, for example, Musso and Frank, who we were talking about a few weeks ago.
One of the most old school restaurants in LA.
Like survived 100 years already. So they've been through everything. Yeah. What they're doing right now for their employees, which is amazing, by the way, is they started like a fund, and they're taking donations and they're selling merch. So pretty much like face masks that say Musso and Frank 100 years. They're selling their collectible book with the pictures and everything of it, their story.
That's dope.
They're selling all kinds of stuff, and all the proceeds are going to their employees during the pandemic. Sweet. It's amazing. Awesome. They're doing every donation, every time somebody buys something, even their gift cards, they're like matching, and they're giving it to all of their employees and their families. And I'm like, this is why they have been in business for 100 years. Yeah. They take care of their own people. They don't want to let people go. They want to still be able to pay them. Like, I have a friend that owns 2 bars in the Inland Empire. And she said she was like selling off kegs that they just purchased right before the pandemic because they didn't know what was going to happen. And the kegs are like thousands of dollars sometimes, $10,000, $5,000, depending on how much they are. And she got them, and then she was told to close down. So she was trying to sell them back to Budweiser, back to Anheuser-Busch, back to that. And she said publicly on her social media what companies shit on her and was like, nope, we don't take them back. Sorry. And then some of them were really good about it. And we're like, sure, we'll buy them back. We understand what's happening. Here's your money back.
That's awesome.
And she used that to pay her employees. She's like, I'm sorry, but my employees are starving. Yeah. I know they're not working, but as a human, they're my friends and my family, and I love them.
Who's this?
This is my friend. She owns Liam's Irish Pub her name is Yara. She owns Liam's Irish Pub in Colton, and she owns Spectator's Bar in Rancho.
No way. Nice.
So I've seen her since she was bartending at Goodfellas 100 years ago. Not like I was allowed to go there at that time, but whatever. And like she went from a bartender to opening 2 of her own bars, and she's done incredible. And right now it's sad. I mean, like having to close and then open and then pay all those permits. They have to pay a lot of money for those outdoor permits because it's a different kind of alcohol license, different kind of business license, lighting, the tents. And my friends that I've had, like, I'm a huge fan of Zendejas in San Dimas. I go there a lot. And they've put so much money, and the winds knocked down everything. Like you said, the tents, the metal bent. Right. They have TVs that they pulled all off the walls inside and put them all outside. And these people did so much to save their business. So I've been going regularly to support their business. And I feel for people like that. I know the owners of several places because I go and introduce myself to the owners all the time because I want to know who's running this place. I want to tell them that I love it. Yeah. and that I'm going to be back to support them. And I try to do it. The same owners, the restaurants over here on Foothill in Etiwanda, he owns the two owners. They own everything in that whole entire complex. So, of course, from Lux to Robata Bar, to Ori Sushi, Robata Bar, all of them, like, I made myself go introduce myself to them. Yeah. And I like to support people like that. I think it's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think
trust me.
Of course, the chefs.
Because
trust me, we appreciate it.
I
business
know.
too, on
I
top of
love
that.
it. I love to give them their props. You know, you and I are good about that. We're good about spending a lot of time at restaurants and being
say
like,
hi to-
yeah, we're like, let me see, who owns this place? Like, I need to come say hi to them, you know? I want to know who owns this place and who runs this place because we like it.
Here's my question. Why, when this pandemic is over and, new menus are coming out, can we be a little more creative and stop having Brussels sprouts on literally every single menu?
I love Brussels sprouts.
It's so overdone now. Every restaurant has a tuna tartare
love Brussels
and
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts something on every.
You're right. There's
matter
always
if you-
a tartare.
No matter if you go to an Italian, a Chinese.
Pokey everything.
What it's yeah.
Ahi pokey nachos. Ahi pokey
crazy.
stack.
Okay, so Jessica Tiffany, you are becoming a pretty big deal, and I think your resume from what you've done just so far is huge. It's incredible. I mean, you're Club 33, Las Brisas in Laguna Beach, and you're this young. Who knows? And you have so much further to go, and you exude out of your pores authenticity.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
100%.
You do.
And I have no doubt, and you may hear this all the time, and it may mean absolutely nothing, but I have no doubt that you will kill it at whatever you do. And I think Boyle Heights is not a matter of how or will it, it's a matter of just when. And I think, I hope that we mark this show that she talked about it, and then years later when this is happening, we were here.
I think our only request is we get like a meal named after us.
Yeah, right.
It happened here.
Yeah.
Here. I don't care what it is, but some kind of, even if it's a little dessert on the side of the menu.
Names a little bit, whatever the case may be.
You know what? I think a dessert would be fun.
A dessert.
Yes.
We'll have a dessert named after us.
On the air.
Yep.
On the air.
Right?
Yeah.
On the air.
Exactly. We can do that.
Hurt me.